room with you guys there today. And I oversee the Office of AAA Administration, and in our case, AAA stands for Area Agencies on Aging. So we fund 21 county offices, and they do the majority of the work to help seniors and juniors.
Marge.
Hi, I'm Margie Kissinger, physical therapist and integrated health coach, and I've been working with this. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, and I've been working with this group, I don't even know how many years. I mean, it's probably 20 years or so, but I right now work with people with osteoporosis for over 25 years, and right now I'm doing a lot of work online and have programs and a podcast and just trying to help spread the messages. But this is my favorite group, and we've gotten so much done over the years, it's amazing.
Okay, Kathleen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kathleen Morgan, retired professor from Rutgers University. And since this is our 25th anniversary of Project Healthy Bones, when I was a young, fledgling, tenured professor, that was my first grant, Project Healthy Bones, many years ago. So it is a fond memory of mine, and well, you all know all the great and amazing things that Project Healthy Bones has accomplished over these years through everyone's help. So a lot of us have been here for a long time. Great group to be a part of. Thank you.
Barbara.
Hello, Barbara Barron, Family Meals dietitian and registered dietitian. I've been with ICO for a long time now. But I enjoy this group, and I am sorry I'm trying to figure out why my camera is not coming on. It's usually, maybe it's a WebEx thing, but anyway, glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My camera doesn't work.
Yeah, and just as a side note, I'm on jury duty, and I'm happy to participate. I know, multitasking, and happy to participate as long as I can here. So thank you.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Anne-La. I'm the Health and Wellness Manager here at Parker at the Pavilion.
We need you to, yeah, okay, we'll have you sign. Anita, you go first.
Yes, welcome everyone. It's so nice to see everyone in person. It's been, what, like over 3 years? Like, this is amazing. Thank you so much for hosting Parker, especially all these gifts that we've received. Thank you very much. My name is Anita Van Wingerden. I am also a physical therapist, and I am a professor at Rutgers University, the School of Health Professions, Doctor of Physical Therapy program.
I'm Steve Kramer. I work with the Division of Aging Services. I'm the public health consultant or a state nutritionist. I'm a registered dietitian. My background is in child and adult care health.
Heather Taylor with New Jersey Division of Aging Services in our wellness unit. So we do all of the wellness programs for older adults in New Jersey.
Andrew Biederman, with the Division of Aging Services. Work closely with Heather with all the wellness programs, outreach, a little bit of everything, and then we'll be discussing some upcoming trainings and workshops we'll be facilitating in the summer and fall of this year.
And I'm Sally Fullman. I'm actually the grandparents of all the little children over here. Andrew's just had a baby this year, and Heather too, right in 2023. So apart from that, I'm actually with Healthy Bones. And with the Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation also. I'll tell you a little bit about that.
I'm Eleanor Lankeveld. I work for Hunterdon County Division of Senior Services. I'm an aging specialist, and I run the Senior Health and Fitness Program. Thank you.
We are Delia and Manuel Vince-cruz from Randolph. We're both peer leaders, and we're glad to meet everybody here for the first time, right, in person. I'm so delighted, and we're glad that Sally invited us too. And I believe that Lori is the one in charge, and you accepted it. We we will be doing some of the video taping for the August 25th anniversary of the Project Healthy Bone. We're glad to help.
Well, we are actually taping this meeting because for the YouTube, because she is a YouTuber, by the way. She has over 1,000 uploads in the YouTube. So that about 300 something subscribers. So we just try to get the essence of the meeting itself. So you'll be in the YouTube. If you don't mind, you're gonna be in the YouTube.
And if I could add, Mary Bridgman knows that because they taped your presentation.
I'm Maria Sergio. I work for Interfaith Caregivers of Greater Mercer County, and I am the program coordinator for Project Healthy Bones at that place. Heather, I'm so excited to see you in person. I've literally never even seen your face before. This is exciting.
It's like it's coming out for you.
So great. Thank you, Lori, for doing this, really. I'm Mary Bridgman. I'm a clinical professor at the School of Pharmacy at Rutgers, and I work as an internal medicine clinical pharmacist at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick. Excited to be here.
I'm Lori Morell. I am the director of the Parker Adult Day Center in Monroe. I did serve as the director of health and wellness, and I've been loving Healthy Bones for 12 years, and I continue to love it for at least another 12. Oh. Are you later? Okay, listen, we have Julie.
Oh,
we have a new,
I'm pouring coffee.
that's okay.
I'm Sue Shapsis. I'm a professor at Rutgers University, and I do osteoporosis research and clinical human studies. That's all I'll say. Nutritional questions. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think we have everybody, so we can start the meeting officially. Dennis.
You're muted. Dennis is going to give us an update from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see everybody again. Quick update from us. I was going to cover some of the trainings, but I'll leave that for Andrew and Heather to get to. I think the last meeting or the one before, we mentioned the unwinding process from COVID. So as the health emergency ended, so did a lot of the sort of flexibilities and protections that went with some of the services. So food stamps, known as NJ SNAP, has throughout the pandemic maintained who's eligible, who's ineligible. They just weren't able to drop anybody from the program. So they can now go to folks who either didn't fill out renewal applications or whatever, and basically tell them it's time to renew. Medicaid, same thing. Anybody who was on Medicaid remained on Medicaid, and they did not ask. Some counties did ask questions to sort of maintain that knowledge of income and assets and everything, and other counties didn't. So that's a little bit different county to county. But folks who are not responding to requests for renewal applications, et cetera, they'll start to be lose their Medicaid eligibility later this month and into July, and that's when we'll start seeing the full effect. Some folks are just, they ignore the information. When they show to a pharmacy or a doctor with their Medicaid card and are told you're not on Medicaid anymore, they'll have to go back to their county and work that out. Part of our unwinding is this is such a massive amount of people who are going to need to find their way back to these programs that as a division on aging, we wanted to help out. So we have trained many people who work with the county offices on aging on SNAP. They took a class called SNAP 101, which is just sort of a basic overview of what SNAP is. And then another training that they give to what they call SNAP navigators. So they have different agencies that they run who can help individuals apply for Medicaid. So not all the folks, but a good number of folks at the counties have taken that training. We've also shared with them the videos of the training so that they can catch up if they were unable to make those sessions, and help folks fill out applications. We're also looking at giving them funding for infrastructure. A lot of the counties are having difficulty hiring, and where they have hiring freezes because of financial concerns within their county. So we're looking to give them dollars so that they can hire people specifically to help with application assistance, either online, paper, whatever it is, to help people get these services that they are eligible for. And that would be for Medicaid, for NJ Save, which are application for lots of different services. We talked about that a lot in the past. Also for NJ SNAP, and down the road a little bit with the Medicaid redeterminations. The main thing we want them to do first with that, during COVID, a lot of folks haven't been clinically or financially found eligible for the programs or recertified, so that's going on now too. And we, while the boards of social services in the counties determine financial eligibility, our nurses who work for us determine the clinical eligibility. And it's something, a crazy number, like 90,000 people every year have to be recertified and clinically determined that they're eligible. And of all those referrals that they get, a good 30% are not clinically eligible. So they'll go to the county welfare board to apply for Medicaid. The county welfare board will refer that over to our nurses. They'll make an appointment, go out, do the 2-hour assessment, determine the person's not clinically eligible. And all that time, people could have gotten other services and they did not. So one of the things they're trying to tighten up is that every time we get a referral from a welfare agency, we will send that person to the County Office of Aging, a referral to the County Office of Aging, to do what we call a screen for community services. And it's, I forget how many questions, but like 27 questions, basically, and it comes out with a score at the end. If the person scores a 1 or 2, it means they're highly independent and may just need information, assistance, a meal, something at the very light end of senior services. If it's a 3, 4, 5, that referral will then go back to OCO for the actual clinical assessment, because that means the person needs help with daily living, either at home or with either assisted living or nursing home, etc. So then they'll come back that way. So that's enough of the unwinding, I think. As for us at the Division of Aging Services, Andrew and Heather can talk about the trainings that they are going to be running later on this year. I want to talk to you a little bit about Get Set Up. This is something I think I've mentioned before, but we entered into a contract with a group out there called Get Set Up for virtual trainings and opportunities for senior citizens. And what we did is we bought 50,000 class seats for that initiative. And we launched it in November quietly. And it was a press release, so as quietly as you can do when you tell the world it's here. But the state of media wasn't picked up as highly as we thought. But every month, the number of people who found it and logged in is doubled. So from November to now, I think, let me see if I can find my stats. I think it was about 14,000 classes have been taken. So we're well on our way to the 50,000 that we purchased. And we committed to buy another 50,000 of those classes. So people would log on using a specific URL that we have on our flyers. And with that, they would just create an account and be in the system. And the classes are really very varied. I don't know if I can share my screen. I've never done a WebEx. If I could for a second, I'll just show you. I'll show you the screen.
You have to make them the host, right?
Right.
We have to make you the host, and then you'll be able to
Okay.
the screen.
Oh,
Okay.
you could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just do it for a second if it shows up. Selected. Entire screen. Okay, that's not it. And then I'll just find this one. Yes. Okay. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
It's us right now? Okay, let me find the website. So just a very quick look at the website. So this is the website. You would log on. I'm logged on, obviously, as me. And these are the types of classes that you can see. These are the ones that are going on today. So at 2 o'clock, you can do iPad Basics, Boost Mental Health, as Spanish. I can't translate that myself. Morning Fitness. These are just some of the ones. Here's Trends. These are the ones that are sort of hot right now. This one, they're all about an hour long, and they're taught by seniors. So people who have special skills or background in these different areas would be the ones who would be talking. So we're a little bit after 4 minutes ago. So here's classes that are live right now. So if we wanted to, I could pop into Tai Chi for arthritis and more, and we would be live participants on that class. It is supposed to be 1-to-1, and the class sizes are limited to, I think, 25, so there can be some interaction, both live and talking, and also in a chat feature that's monitored by another person, the leader throughout the whole class. And if you miss a class that you really wanted to do, some of them are taped, and then you can watch the class at another time. So here's just the calendar. Let me just click on, sorry, the system's slow today here at work. Okay, so here's the calendar of, I guess, classes that it's really taking its time. Okay, so these all started 29 minutes ago. So a new member, if you were new to this, get set up, you can take this class and in an hour figure out how it is, how to navigate, how to find things that you want to do. Then they have my categories. So if you're interested in a particular thing, you can search by what your particular affinity is. So creativity, cooking, art, aging in place, music, health, government things, technology. So here's travel. So I'll just click on travel real quick and then I'll cut short the demonstration. But here's, this person here is your teacher, Sue Murray, and she'll take you through Ireland and talk about all their maritime treasures. She's also been to China. She'll tell you about China. And just very good for, folks who are stuck at home, maybe never travel but have an interest and want to see the coast of, this might be Greece, I'm not sure. But that's what it's all about. You can sort of form communities out of here. There are series, so if you find something that is particularly interesting to you, and it's more than what can be covered in an hour, you can join a series, and it'll be, we're going to do a oil painting, and that's going to take more than an hour. So that's kind of the program. And this is the URL up here, so it's getsetup.io/partner/New Jersey, and any New Jersey senior could log on to that and take classes from us. I'll send out with the minutes or with any post-meeting stuff, we'll send out the flyer so everybody can have it. And now I'm going to stop sharing and see if that worked.
It works.
So that's kind of our big thing. It was talked about sort of in the middle of COVID as something to fight social isolation, which was an issue before COVID hit, and of course it's made worse through COVID. So that's the idea with this: is seniors who are home can take a class at their leisure and have that, at least that virtual community of people who are interested in the same things they're interested in. The other little piece of this is we bought a program called Claris Companion Tablets, and we've been giving out tablets as loans to people who are on our programs who have been determined by their county offices to be socially isolated. Counties were able to take 350, I think, of our tablets, and we have 200 more we hope to get out by the end of the month to people who are participating in specific programs that we do. So we have a program called the Congregate Housing Services Program, where we fund services in subsidized housing to keep seniors there, rather than need more intensive care elsewhere. We're going to be giving out tablets to participants there who would like to try this out. So I think that's it for me. It's budget season. In the proposed budget, aging has done very well. Now we just have to get it passed and see if that works out. But market increase for our JACK program, which is a very popular program. It's pre-Medicaid at-home services. The providers haven't gotten a raise in that program since it started. So we've given the providers, the care managers a raise. We've increased the hours that people can have for home health aides. And of course, in lots of areas, we can't get home health aides, so it's really an additional budget that they may be able to buy other things they need to remain independent. And that's it for me. Any questions? Hey, Mark.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I love this whole get set up. What an amazing thing. But I was noticing some of the exercises were not good for people with osteoporosis. Like they showed one with the person all around and touching their toes. So what I'm thinking is there something we could send out to people if you have osteoporosis when you do, certain things? Avoid, that we haven't looked at all these exercises, or, some of the exercises are for the general population and don't take into consideration osteoporosis, and maybe just give them or make a little video on precautions that they want to take when they're doing this or something like that, so that we don't advocate, do all these rounding postures for the people with osteoporosis.
Yeah. That is something we can talk to them about at Get Set Up. It is an international program, so we're just sort of buying seats into existing things. Also, the one thing I did notice, because we did a demonstration at a senior center recently, and we picked one called Mindful Chair Yoga, and the picture was of a young woman doing an incredibly hazardous stretch. But then once I clicked into the program, the instructor was a senior citizen. And in that particular class, she wasn't concerned about osteoporosis, but all of the movements in that were very light, and there was no stretching like the clip art showed. So hopefully those classes will have something like that, but I'll mention that to the Get Set Up people.
Well, it doesn't have to be them. Can we just send it to our people? Like when we send them, there's a link for Get Set Up. This is a great program, and here's a video if you have osteoporosis to watch beforehand, so when you're doing the program, you take into consideration the osteoporosis precaution. So at least our people get the information, and then they can, be smart about what they choose to do. Because you can see there are a lot of senior programs that have yoga, other things that wouldn't be great for osteoporosis. So just something we could do. If anyone else has ideas, I just saw some of those pictures, and I'm like, and I love the idea. It's amazing. Classes look fantastic. Yeah.
I think a disclaimer in the beginning also to protect whoever's taking the class, just as a liability issue, and maybe with the disclaimer say some exercises may not be appropriate for all people. Please check with your physician before taking the class.
Yeah. I did just click on their search button for the word osteoporosis. They have one class, it's in Spanish, and the pictures that they have are all of food. So I don't know if it's a food, how to eat right with osteoporosis. And then they have one, weight-bearing exercises for osteoporosis and joint pain. So if you have a specific condition or interest, you may be able to find programs on here. These are the ones that are offered now. These are running from the 15th through July 14th. They're the ones that popped up in that search. But the other day, for instance, we were asked a question at that senior center about scams, and are there any of these shows about scams, any of these things you can join? And I did a quick search while I was there, and the answer was no. But we did a better search we got back, and they do have them. They just run them twice a year, and they weren't running them right now. So they do have all kinds of things there. But yeah. Let me take a look at the flyer that we produced for ours and see if we want to put a disclaimer on there, and I'll talk to our folks. But very good idea. Thanks.
Great.
Is there a directory too? So if you are looking for something, but like you just mentioned, it's not offered, say the 15th of June to the 14th of July. Is there like a listing of all the topics that are available?
Yeah, I'll have to find that. because like I said, what I did is I just sort of did a search and it gave me everything that's happening now, but somebody else in the division who's on the team did the further search and said, here's the 5 things they have on scams, and now, so I don't know whether he got that by calling them or whether he found another way to search the site to find what they offer. And they offer, I think it's 500 classes at any given time. So their like rolling schedule has 500 different things. And they run 24 hours a day, and I think they offer them in 4 languages. So one day when I was putting together a PowerPoint, I was working on it during the day and got some pictures, and then at night I turned it back on. Everything was offered in another language because it was daytime where where most of the people speak that language were. So I had to wait till the morning to do some more cutting and pasting.
No, thanks, that's really amazing. I do like Margie's idea though, about maybe we should compile a list or, do a movie like you suggested, but I think we need to re-educate people in general, even on our website, like if you have osteoporosis, these movements should be avoided and where it's very clearly accessible.
Yeah. We could even do that. We did, with the purchase of this many classes, they gave us the opportunity to create our own classes. Again, they'll be pure lead, so I could lead it, but it won't. Basically, we have to come up with a script and then give it to somebody else, and that person they would find who would lead this class for us. So we're going to do one about basic New Jersey senior citizen services, like, what are 20 things New Jersey seniors should know about? And they'll just run like, a couple times a year. But we might have opportunity for more classes, and maybe we could work with the ICO and put together a class on exercising correctly with osteoporosis. We could just somebody who would then do that class 2 or 3 times a year. And they do also look for teachers, so they pay, I think it's like $25 a class or something. So, for some people, this is actually an employment opportunity. Hey, my whole life I was I worked in taxation, and now I'm retired, and hey, I'll do a little class, once a month and talk to seniors about taxes and what they should be watching for, and they get paid $25, for the hour. So you can't get rich off it, but if it's something you like to do, it's a good opportunity.
Is there any way we could put a Healthy Bones class on that?
That I don't know. It would be a series. Something to talk about.
Okay, I think that's something for the future, and that may be an opportunity also to pay an instructor virtually, and then maybe we'd be able to create more peer leaders from doing that. So that could be a good opportunity for us.
Could be great.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Margie, we can't hear you.
You can't hear you, you're muted.
I think that's a great idea, actually, because you'll reach so many people. It's just, part of our mission is to help people and educate. What a wonderful way to do something through this. It's amazing. Go beyond New Jersey. Yeah, and the program's so good. And then I think the video is not a big deal if we have an opportunity. So those videos, Dennis, that they pay $25. Can you just make one video and they'll use it, or it has to be a series? It's a series.
No, you can do one, but they are live classes. So the video is really if you missed the live class. So, for instance, the woman that we did with the mindful chair yoga, she does her class on Thursday nights. But then you could also, that'll be also scheduled for Tuesday afternoon, and it'll be a taped version of the Thursday night class. So they do want it to be live. So if we were to, we'd have to offer a live class, on whatever basis we wanted. It could be twice a year. And then the tape version might show 2 or 3 other times. But they do want that live. The whole idea is to have that interaction with the customer. So.
I would just do it to be nice. I don't even need the money for it. I have so many slides and things about just safe exercises and how to bend, how to do everything, ergonomics, without injuring yourself. I've never doing that. But, just to help promote good things that people need to know about. But anyway.
And they do have special series that they run. Let me go back to their homepage for a second. There was, as I scroll down myself, I won't share the screen again because it's taking forever for one thing. But they have things like it's National Artist Month, and then they'll feature all other artist things. So, we might be able to work with them, to say, hey, we're a year out from Osteoporosis Awareness Month. Can you do some more things about osteoporosis, that month? So, something we can
Especially
work
in
on.
May. Like May is
Yeah.
National Osteoporosis Month, and October is the World Osteoporosis Day.
Yeah.
October 20th. So those are two dates that would be really important to coordinate with, if possible.
So maybe we can do something for October where we can also do not only a Healthy Bones class, but keeping your bones healthy by not doing these exercises, and interject some of those things, the do's and don'ts of osteoporosis, something like that.
And October 20th is World Osteoporosis
Right,
Day, so that would tie in.
That would be apropos, right? Maybe we can,
I'd like to add one point to consider about having a Healthy Bones class on the Get Set Up and Go. The problem, I think, is that we have customized our exercises. So if somebody doesn't keep her elbows at her side, the arm curl is not beneficial. If they're taking their leg out with their foot to the side, that doesn't help the hip joint or the ankle. So it's as if our exercises are more specific than the general person. And I don't know how well a person seeing how to do the exercises on Zoom would be able to do them correctly.
so what we could do is, at that juncture, is we can give them direction on where they can find a Healthy Bones class for live exercise. The problem with that is for people who have no transportation, and we have a lot of seniors living at home or in low-income areas, it's an opportunity for us to, kind of expand the program. Again, the other pieces, I could go into physical and the cognitive piece of the person participating in the exercise. And I could see where that would be kind of like, a little frightening versus having a live class. But what we could do is do a lead. So for people who are in, let's say, low-income housing, HUD homes, this is a great opportunity to bring in Healthy Bones to these HUD homes. That's something I would like to do, and I think Parker would be very, very forthcoming on doing that. And maybe then we could kind of move into the HUD homes and maybe get somebody from these senior housing to be a peer leader and, just have a follow-up from somebody to come in.
Can I just say one thing? I think that's really valid, Sally, about the exercises, but these people are going to choose one of these other programs. The people who can't get to a class, they're going to choose one of these other programs that doesn't give any instruction. They're just going to follow. So sometimes we have to do good, not best. So I think if we really discuss this when the person's explaining it, now it's very important that you don't do this, or the posture is critical. I think it's still better off than not having it, and they'll choose something else for those people. I love Lori's idea, that's amazing, but I think also as another option, it's bad. Like, even with Project Healthy Bones initially, I'm thinking, oh gosh, physical therapists aren't going to teach this. That was my initial thought. But look what we've done, so I think getting out there and showing them proper exercises and teaching them, oh yes, the wonderful perspective is really going to be helpful. And just really talk about precautions. It's not the best, I agree, and I think Lori's idea is amazing, but that's just my thought. It's still good. I think it would still help a lot of people.
Yeah, and then we can offer, at the end of that, we can say, would you like a Healthy Bones program in your community? Reach out to. This is how we can grow the program. So it's kind of you're really maybe taking a step back to go 2 steps forward, but I think that it has opportunity.
If it's filmed well, it's filmed from the front and the side and the back, you can show all the different positions.
Right.
I think that would be advantageous rather than just filming it from the front. And we found that out last October, right? The camera was just angled one way. So when we wanted to present it later, it wasn't really advantageous. It was better to have been there in person.
Right, maybe we set it up like as a beginner class with the understanding of the participant that there's going to be a lot of cueing involved, so that they're not going in thinking that it's you know, something that maybe they're not understanding that they can't do and they're discouraged by it, like if it's a little description saying that there will be a lot of queuing and body mechanics involved.
The only other thing with this format, I mean, this is all great, I'm just not sure if get set up as the right format. Class is limited to 25 and it's international. So if we offer a class at 3 o'clock and, you know, we may have nobody from New Jersey on that class, and then if they like it, now we've got to set up a class in Spokane and in New Delhi, and you know, we really haven't gone beyond New Jersey, and even in New Jersey, we see what happens when you go to classes and folks are using the manual from, you know, 10 years ago, and so, you know, I mean, our goal for this program at some point was that, to get it evidence-based and then really be able to, you know, do something to let it go beyond our borders, because we do get a lot of seniors who move out, and then they end up calling us or calling their old place and saying, you know, I'm now in Scarsdale, Arizona, and I'd love to do this class. And we really don't encourage them to do that. But they're so connected from the network, it's not going to be good.
But if we had a video class that was shown live every week, it wouldn't matter where you were. You know, I mean, it wouldn't really matter, or twice a month, etc. If it's live and you're in New Delhi or you're in Scarsdale or Spokane, you could participate, and that would be, you know, a really advantageous way to get Project Healthy Bones beyond New Jersey.
Possibly that could be a goal for the fall. You know, to think about how we could, you know, implement it, and have it be specific for older adults in New Jersey. You're going to work toward the fall.
Great.
There's a lot of people in Florida too. You know that.
Okay. Well, thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. That was incredible.
Okay, so now we have the presentation of the 2023 Osteoporosis Prevention Recognition Awards. And I would first like to honor Helen Caffrey from Hunterdon County, Project Healthy Bones course.
She's not, she couldn't come.
Okay. So I will eulogize her in her absence. Helen joined Project Healthy Bones in 2008 and has been an avid supporter ever since. She has been a loyal volunteer for the Project Healthy Bones program in Hunterdon County and has been an asset in keeping the program running. She first heard of Project Healthy Bones through a friend who had been attending classes in Frenchtown. Ed Kenny, the lead coordinator of the program at that time, knew of her prior participation in several other classes and suggested she join. Coincidentally, she saw an ad in the local paper looking for peer leaders and called Beth. Unfortunately, there were no formal peer leader trainings at that time, so it was suggested that she attend the peer leader and lead coordinator meeting to see what it was about. She attended the meeting, joined a class where she participated for 48 weeks, and then took a peer leader training. The rest is history. So I'll give you her certificate, then please tell her. Thank you so much.
I get a picture as well. Thank you.
Everybody just name her, she's not Helen.
She's the boss.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Okay, Carol Rice. Carol Rice.
No, she was going to try to join on Zoom, but I don't see her on my computer.
Okay. Okay, so let's honor Carol. She's from East Hanover, Project Healthy Bones, and she was nominated by the peer leaders in the East Hanover Project Healthy Bones class for her exemplary leadership in Project Healthy Bones and senior health programs in East Hanover and Roseland. Carol began the Project Healthy Bones class 18 years ago and leads 2 classes a week. Over the years, she has also led classes for Move Today, a matter of balance, Stress Busters, Health East, the Diabetes Self-Management Program, and Tai Chi for arthritis. In Project Healthy Bones, Carol encourages everyone to participate fully in the exercises. She is especially attentive to those with limited abilities and makes all of us feel welcome. In addition to leading the exercises, Carol takes great care to include education in each class. As an nurse, she knows the benefits of having specialists come to class to speak to us. We've learned so much from the physical therapists, pharmacists, nurses, nutritionists, and dietitians whom she has invited. In addition, Carol's weekly discussions allow everyone to participate actively. She often brings articles from newspapers, magazines, and the internet to keep us abreast of current information and research on osteoporosis. We feel we have the tools we need to improve our lives. She is a warm, kind, and caring person, and she has attracted wonderful people to be part of our class. We feel we are a family and care about one another. Carol's sense of humor makes class fun, and we look forward to coming to class. We do our best to meet her standards and make her proud. Carol, we are so grateful to you for your inspiration and friendship. Project Healthy Bones truly flourishes under your leadership. So she is clearly loved by the members of her Project Healthy Bones class. Can anyone give her this, or should we mail this to her?
I probably know.
Okay, next we have Delia Vince-cruz and Manny Vince-cruz. You are here. So Project Healthy Bones is fortunate to have Delia and Manny here in the United States and New Jersey and in our Project Healthy Bones family. They were born and raised in the Philippines, met as university students, married, and immigrated to New Jersey over 50 years ago. They settled in Morris County and have been active in their community ever since. Both Delia and Manny have degrees in medical technology from universities in the Philippines and worked at the U.S. Naval Hospital, Subic Bay, Philippines. Delia has worked in medical technology at Dover General, Morristown Memorial, and St. Barnabas Hospitals. Manny was a medical technologist for both Dover General Hospital for 2 years and at Morristown Memorial Hospital for 41 years. Wow. Delia has studied computer technology and with Manny as her partner has made over 1,000 YouTube videos and has 344 subscribers. That's awesome. Their participation in community programs has heightened their sense of volunteerism. They were honored with the Spirit Award in 2017 for their work as co-captains of the Randolph Senior Olympics. They are active in many ministries in their parish, Resurrection Church, and in playing the keyboard to entertain residents at Mary Hart Assisted Living and Nursing Home. They joined Project Healthy Bones in 2016 and became peer leaders the following year. Project Healthy Bones looks for leaders with organizational and communication skills, but also with personal qualities of integrity, empathy, patience, respect for others, and a positive attitude, sense of humor, enthusiasm, willingness to listen, and readiness to be a team player. Delia and Manny embody all these characteristics and have made their class a center of joy and gratitude, as well as exercise and education. They plan special events such as lunches, sing-alongs, line dancing, and organize events outside of class for those who want to participate. They are like the ideal parents, nurturing their family and encouraging them to be their best. And like all parents, they capture everything they can in photos and videos. They have done that with many of their Healthy Bones events and have been especially helpful with our 25th anniversary plans. Delia and Manny, Project Healthy Bones thanks you for your generous hearts and giving spirits. We are so grateful for your inspiring leadership. I want to come to your class. Well, I'm very honored to be able to help present this to you.
And if I could add one other point, I didn't think of this at first, but they received an award 2 years ago, too.
Manny, can you
That's
go
right.
over there, Manny?
Sure.
I
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna take a picture, I can't do it without you.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wait. And Sally, do you want to be in the picture
Oh, I'd love
with
to.
Anita, please? Thank you.
Got it. Maybe I'll go over there.
Manny, come on, Manny,
All right.
get a little bit closer, you must.
That better not.
All right, this is good. Are we ready? Ready? Come on, Manny, closer, closer. Perfect.
Like you've been married for 50 years, get closer.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got the fancy.
That's what happened to you at 50.
Oh, I did
We should
something.
have Heather in.
I think I did something. Or is that supposed to be there?
That's okay.
That's okay, all right. All Smile. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right, and
Very
then
good.
one on mine, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Just make, I'll get this up.
Very photogenic. 1, 2, 3. All right, great, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Maybe if I could just mention, Aunt Kathy is a leader down at Long Beach Island. And she had a conflict and was not able to come today. She sent a text saying she's very honored and very grateful to be recognized. And it's important that we are trying to reach out beyond, Essex, Morris, Union counties to include some of the classes that are kind of out of sight. And that's what Ann represents.
That's wonderful. So we will read about Ann. She's from the Long Beach Island Health Department, and she is a public health nurse supervisor on Long Beach Island. Has long had an interest in the health of seniors. Shortly after she began working in the health department in 2009, she became a peer leader and lead coordinator and organized 4 classes with 65 participants. Her medical background made her the ideal person to lead discussions on osteoporosis and good bone health. Under Ann's care, Project Healthy Bones has grown over the years. There are now over 100 participants and a waiting list for new people. Ann has trained new peer leaders and has the help of the island's health educators to keep the education aspect strong. Over the past 14 years, she has built rapport with the senior community and established an atmosphere of trust and respect. Project Healthy Bones serves as an outreach program to provide information about important health issues such as an updated vaccine recommendations, various health topics, and local concerns. Participants in her classes are enthusiastic and love everything about them. The camaraderie of their caring and cohesive group, improved balance and strength from the exercises, and especially learning about bone and general health. One class member said, "The education touches on important areas for aging seniors, and that is a terrific advantage for us. The information is direct, trustworthy, and administered by a professional. I love the topics that are selected." These tributes are a reflection of the appreciation and high regard of everyone in Ann's Project Healthy Bones classes. Thank you, Ann, for your contribution to Project Healthy Bones, as well as senior health. We'll mail hers. Thank you, Ann. I'm going to Long Island, what's it, Long Beach Island. That's awesome that she holds classes there as well, for those on vacation.
So there's one more person we want to
Wonderful.
recognize, and that person happens to be in the room, sitting at the opposite end of the table. Both Kathleen and I thought that Maria should be given an award this year, and so we are going to co-present it. Kathleen, if you're ready to begin.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Really, it gives Sally and I both an honor and a privilege for the nomination of Maria Sergio for all that she has done for Project Healthy Bones in really such a short amount of time. So I'm going to read her nomination. Maria joined Interfaith Caregivers of Greater Mercer County in 2021 as the lead coordinator of Project Healthy Bones, following in the footsteps of Jane Latini and Avida Giron, who had been such great coordinators. Her job was a challenge because she was asked to oversee a program that was brand new to her. She became a peer leader and a lead coordinator within a few months and brought her energy and warm personality to her classes. Interfaith had become one of the Healthy Bones' shining stars since it began in 2012. Before COVID, it had 7 lead coordinators, 24 peer leaders, and 193 participants in 7 classes at 5 locations. 2 classes were in Spanish and included low-income seniors. But as with all other classes, COVID brought about many changes that have made it difficult to return to its former strength. Health concerns among the peer leaders and participants, relocations and retirements, and competing responsibilities. Maria had to step in and assume leadership of 6 classes a week, an exhausting workload. Maria not only attends and leads classes, but has a very good technical and graphic skills. Working with the Healthy Bones Leaders Council, she designed the new logo for the Leaders Council and was the inspiration for Heather Taylor in creating the new logo for Healthy Bones. I'll turn it over to Sally.
And it was Maria and one of Interfaith's Spanish-speaking peer leaders, Lucia Delgado Perez, who translated the participant manual into Spanish. That is such a contribution to our program, so inclusive. They work closely together, providing not only an accurate translation, but one that is affirming and supportive in tone. It's so positive and so embracing and welcoming for others. A few months after their work was finished, Lucia was diagnosed with cancer and unbelievably died a few weeks later. It was such a heartbreaking event. So we will dedicate the participant manual to Lucia and also to Maria, because she was the instigation for helping Lucia move around. And Lucia was such a wonderful peer leader, like we remember her, full of energy and so expansive in her love really for others. So their work is of course very important, and especially as Healthy Bones strives to become a more inclusive program. Maria has the skills of a good leader. She communicates well, emanates good cheer, and is consistently there for her people, 6 classes a week, mind you. She is compassionate and thoughtful, such a good listener, a woman with both humility and kindness. And if you look at her, you can see she has some beauty too. She gives of herself and did so even when she was mourning the loss of Lucia, who was such a beloved person in Interfaith. Maria is truly a role model for all. And if you look at her, you see how young she is and how important it is to
Only
have
on the
somebody
outside.
with her energy.
89 on the inside.
No. But to have her energy and enthusiasm and kindness, it's such a gift for Healthy Bones. So Maria, thank you so much for
Thank you for all you've done. And she helped Rutgers with our APE.
Right. Come on, we're gonna do one and then you're going in
Come on.
that picture. Get on in here, Sam. Hold on, let me whip my tear away. A little bit more this way. I hate to take you out of the picture, but you know, I like your arm and everything. It looks great. Great. I want to send it back. Okay.
We're good? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys find the gems, and it's really a special meeting.
Yeah, great.
Hey Sally, would you like to give us the Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation update?
I would love to. Wait a second, I have a timer, 10 minutes. And I'm going to try to do that because I have so much to tell you. So I'm starting already. Here we go. Okay, good. So I just came back from a bone health and osteoporosis meeting in Washington last week. And of course, I'm full of energy and pride of being part of it. And I realized that I've been associated with it for a long time, actually since 2009. And so I feel at home with people. I thought that I would tell you some things that might help you understand what they do and how we're going to be working with them. The board consists of maybe 12, 13, 14 people. I'll just give you a little idea of who they are. The chairperson is the retired head, oh, I'm sorry, that's right, of, the MD Anderson Cancer Hospital. And he was a professor of internal medicine there, highly regarded, and works very closely with Baylor College also. Another person from Houston is the man who is the son of a couple who gave enough money to have a whole bone clinic established that both MD Anderson and Baylor share. The other person who was there is brand new, a beautiful young woman who works with the Methodist Hospital down there and is the director of Fracture Liaison Services, a really important thing for our future. Another little group of two people, so to speak, is Ken Lyle, who's from the VA hospital in Raleigh, Durham, and then a young man whose name is Joshua Wing. I won't mention their names after this, but he works in the Bone Health Clinic in Pensacola, Florida, also with fracture liaison services. Some of the others, because the board is trying to diversify, is a primary care physician, a physical therapist who is also a nurse, a pharmacist, Mary, a wonderful woman who actually is from Iowa. She grew up on a farm. She looks like it. She's really strong, you know. And she's one of these visionary leaders. She's just retired. A woman from the University of Alabama in Birmingham, who is a wonderful researcher. Barbara Hannah Grufferman, I don't know if you know her. She wrote that article that appeared in AARP magazine in December, January. And she's always concerned about health for women.
They have an amazing, excuse me, Director, but Alabama has an amazing osteoporosis clinic that is like a national standard.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing. So she must be affiliated with that. Or?
Absolutely, yeah. And I was down there once because I was part of a proposed research project with them. It didn't work out, but I've been down there and I've met some of the people. They are really good in every way, nutrition, as well as all kinds of research. And then a man whom I've only seen on video, because this was only our second in-person meeting, whose name is Fred Singer. He's a retired professor at Harvard, UCLA, University of Southern California. He was very closely associated with the American Bone Health Program. And so let me go into some of the programs, some of the things that we discussed. Is anybody familiar with the American Bone Health Program?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so a few people are. It began in 1990. It's mostly an online community to listen to the concerns of people who are diagnosed with osteoporosis and to help them sort through their options. They have a series, they have workshops, programs on bone-safe Pilates, yoga, exercise. That's just what we were talking about as I think about it. And they are facing bankruptcy and are closing. So the question is, what happens to them? They reached out to BHOF to see if we would take over their work. And what that means is taking over a certain monthly cost and then possibly 3 of their employees. It's more than we can handle, but in any case, we can possibly work with them as consultants. And the importance of doing that is that if we didn't, or if somebody didn't, all of their online resources would just go dormant, silent, and be inaccessible. So we're planning to do that, and that would take place toward the end of September. And it would, of course, continue for the future. They invited BHOF to do that because they are considered to be a reasonable, supportive, trustworthy program, and very concerned with public policy, so keeping ideas like this going. Now, to move on, there are no new medications in the pipeline for osteoporosis. Evenity is the most recent one, and there just doesn't seem to be the potential for that right now. Where there is some research going on is with rare bone diseases, but that's down the road in terms of what they would expect to have a medication be. So the future may lie in device manufacturers, maybe new types of equipment for hip surgery, knee surgery. One of the doctors at St. Barnabas is very interested in this and has already begun to design some new things. St. Barnabas in Livingston, yes. Do any of you remember that with the Women's Health Organization or initiative that estrogen therapy was set aside pretty much because of the risk of cardiovascular disease and also breast cancer? So once that came out from the results of the information women gave over the years, the use of estrogen has gone down tremendously. And that's a loss because women going through menopause fall into that category where they're going to lose bone density pretty significantly over those years. And that means we have more people with worse osteoporosis. So they are reconsidering that because the evidence showed that that did not obtain, in other words, the cardiovascular or the breast cancer risk with women in their 50s. So doctors are selectively working with the patients to help give them estrogen therapy to delay the onset of osteoporosis.
Can I comment on that?
Right.
It's my role.
Good.
They're giving the low dose estrogen now to alleviate the symptoms of menopause. It does not impact osteoporosis prevention because the dose is too low.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So
It must, do maybe the tiniest bit, but it's not really for osteoporosis treatment. We have to use other medications that our pharmacists here know so well.
very interesting. Thank you for adding that. Good. There are various companies that have been seeking the endorsement of the Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation, like we all kind of know that. A company called Vibrio, it's probably a vibrating platform, Margie, you know about it, OsteoStrong and so on. So when that was brought up for discussion as to how we respond to these requests, the president, who's from North Carolina, said, here's the answer. He looks around at everybody and he says, in God we trust. All others have to provide data. So in any case, OsteoStrong is not something that we, or a company we would support, and even the Vibrio is not safe. So that is not anything that you're going to see BHOF on. There was the review of the May programs that were offered, and everybody felt that they were strong. There were webinars, special programs of every kind, and even a new one called Your Path to Good Bone Health. And that has weekly meetings that people can tune in on, and then of course see if they miss.
We also did a lot of social media, so they had all these things that you could actually add to your social media, and then add the hashtags, and it like went all over. I did it. It was very effective.
Great,
Interesting.
Thanks.
So I think that was a good addition.
Yeah. And then, in addition to that, in God we trust, all others have to provide data. There were two other very good lapidary statements, so to speak, that you would cast in stone. The one is, good bone health is the backbone for good general health. It's a good idea to keep that in mind. And we've all heard that osteoporosis is called the silent disease. The person who said that followed up by saying, and I choose not to remain silent. I choose to be active in a program like Project Healthy Bones, to advocate with my senators or so. So that's a nice little thing to keep in mind. I like that. I've already used that. And there are plans for the Interdisciplinary Symposium on Osteoporosis for 2024 and 2025, taking place in Washington, D.C. And there was none this year because things were just too tight in terms of scheduling and so on. Next year is the 40th anniversary of the National Osteoporosis Foundation, Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation. So it was founded in 1984, in other words, only 40 years ago. I mean, think of your mothers or grandparents, they had no information, no way of knowing how to take care of themselves. There's a lot of policy work that they're doing. They have been lobbying actually for years with members of Congress, the CDC, Medicare and Medicaid, to have this fracture liaison service be codified under Medicare so that a person who has a fracture would be able to have access to the things that are necessary afterwards, like a bone density test if they haven't had one, counseling on nutrition, exercises that a physical therapist could teach them, information about balance, how they keep their home safe. Okay, so I'm almost finished. I'm down here. I'm down here, so I'm just about done. And so we had worked so hard. I spent a couple of days calling different senators and even from out of state, And there were two senators who sponsored a bill, sponsored a letter. They were Senator Barrasso, a Republican from Wyoming, and Cardin, a Democrat from Maryland. And there were only two other senators who signed on, Susan Collins from Maine and Capito from West Virginia. So that was a big disappointment. So their policy is efforts are probably going to shift if we don't get that passed this year in Congress, to trying to see if we can promote bone density screening for women. No, I'm sorry, not only for women, but for people, especially women at the age of 50, to have a benchmark. Because once you start going in menopause, you don't even know where you were starting from. You know, how much did you lose? How much can you still try to preserve? So that'll be their next policy initiative. There were, in 2022, there were 8 states that sent in governor's proclamations to announce that they were supporting May as National Osteoporosis Prevention Month. We had one, but we didn't get it in. This year we got it in. And the number had actually gone from 8 up to about 22. So that's a bit of improvement. The whole thing I want to tell you about is that the Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation has a sense that this is the time for creating partnerships, coalitions. We're not going alone saying we need this or that. We have joined with actually more than 30 other health groups for seniors, trying to focus on the importance of bone health among cancer patients, among people with all kinds of health problems. So all I can tell you is that I've been alive long enough to know that there are times when there are good times and bad times. I'm not talking politics right now. But I'm talking about there could be times in your life where you feel well, you're really healthy and happy, and things change. Or things are going well with your family. Look at our 2 little kids over here, you know, having children of their own, you know. And this is really a good time for for the Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation. That board is so committed. I can't believe we're all paying our expenses to go down in Washington, you know, transportation, our own hotels, so that there's no drag on the money that's there. They're all involved in really, really good things. And Claire Gill is a person who is big and strong and knows how to have strategic planning. So, you know, I know that there were rough times in the past and so on, that happens with everybody. But it happens to be a really good time. So I'm really thrilled, if you want to know the truth, to be part of it.
Thank you. Can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I have a great video, because I've asked that question all the time about OsteoStrong. And so Laura Giandivorio, who's with Osteoporosis Canada, she's a researcher at the university, I'm trying to think which one, Waterloo. Anyway, she sent me this video that they produced, and they went through the research behind it, you know, showing that there's more fractures in the research setting. There's absolutely nothing showing their research is not accurate. Anyway, I put the YouTube on the chat. I don't know if someone can get that. It's just a really good video summarizing their research on OsteoStrong. So I think it's, you know, if someone asks you, you can just send them this, because it's research based, and you know, it just and they said they did studies showing there were more fractures. And I've had people whenever I've done a program, numerous people have written, oh, I had a fracture from that. Not tons of people, but it's, you know, I think that the claims, unfortunately, are not verified by research, and there are dangers. So anyway, it's a really good video that's you know, evidence-based.
Thank you,
on
Marcia,
YouTube.
because people do ask that question in class.
Yeah, so I put it in here if I need to send it somewhere else, or Heather, you can get it from the computer, from the video thing, or somebody. I put it in chat, but I can send it somewhere else if I need to.
Can you send it to Heather? Or
I don't have Wi-Fi.
All right, I'll send it to Heather. I'll send it right now to Heather. Okay.
To her email, because she has no.
Yeah. Okay, I'll send it to her email right now. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you,
Sure.
Sally. That's really exciting. I have to share that in the research that we've done at Rutgers, we developed a osteoporosis and fall risk interprofessional event where students learn how to perform an osteoporosis and fall risk screen, and then actually perform it, and then report back as a group and create SMART objectives which address the results of their screen. There is an increase in Hispanic women that are being diagnosed with osteoporosis. So I really think that the ICO should focus on translating more than just Project Healthy Bones manual into Spanish if possible, because the research also shows that they are also the least likely to seek medical care for osteoporosis. So I found that really enlightening, and I think, you know, if there's anything that we can do, I think it would be really valuable to make sure that we have everything in Spanish, or we have a Spanish outreach, or maybe, as you said, somehow getting to communities where there is a high Spanish population, you know, and start prevention, because osteoporosis is preventable.
It is.
And that's what's so important, as you all know, in our involvement.
Yeah, we need to look at the demographics, and it's, you know, about education, and I think, I mean, I see it by me. I mean, between the two programs, the adult day programs, and I'm speaking very candidly here because I've seen this. So my program, which is located in Monroe, demographically has a much more affluential clientele of population. And so I have minimal people on Medicaid. Why? I don't know. Now, if you come to Highland Park, the majority of people are on Medicaid. So everything's relative to the surrounding communities. And that, you know, education affects everything, right? We know it's a trickle-down effect. So, you know, going into now, and I think as we see what's changing in the market, I mean, from my perspective, is people are outliving their money right now. So only 5% of probably the population will be able to afford long-term care services in the next, I would say, maybe, at this point, maybe 5%. And that will actually get smaller because the aging population is growing at leaps and bounds. And so what we're seeing, I'm seeing this, is people are coming into adult day programs later, more compromised, more acuities, and at a higher risk of falls, especially since we just got over solitary confinement from COVID. I mean, anyone who comes in, I have a script within a week because there are falls risks coming in. So this is really such an opportunity for us to really look at things and where we need to put our focus, and I think develop programming to, you know, counties that are less fortunate, and it's going to grow as we see the aging population, you know, mirror that. So I would love to do senior housing. I mean, I think that's something that Parker is interested in doing, and maybe this is also another avenue for us to expand our health programs into, you know, the economically challenged, and which you're going to get into disparities in the ethnic population as well. So it's just something.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, and to share just on another thing that we found is that waiting till you're 65 or 50 and older to screen for osteoporosis and fall risk is really not advantageous. We have had students who were in their 20s that were at fall risk, and the biggest jump for the research that we were able to obtain with like the 30-second sit to stand, the single leg balance, and the tug, the 30-second sit to stand showed the greatest increase. And again, it was during COVID, perhaps, like, you know, we can hypothesize that, the sedentary lifestyle. But there was a significant number of people under 60 that did not have their age limited requirements. I mean, the standard is 20 sit-to-stands for a 30-second sit-to-stand test for anyone 60 and under, and the amount of people that could not perform that was incredible. So that's important, you know, as any health caregiver, so, and that correlates with what you're finding in the older, but we also have so many younger people that are sedentary. They've taken gym out of schools, they've done so many things. That's why I think we need to do something with the Girl Scouts and, you know, kind of like hit the younger generation like we've talked about in the past. I think that should be a program that we pursue as well.
It's a socioeconomic problem that we're seeing expand because both parents need to work. The kids are coming home, they're either they're using all the technology, they're sitting, they don't go outside and play anymore. It's a complete antithesis of what we had 40 years ago. So now, how do we change that? Because the long-term picture is going to be health issues. I mean, there's no question about it. And we also have more medications available that actually break down our bones, such as prednisone, you know, the heal-all drug that can cure anything, plants dying, animals sick. I mean, you know, that eats up our bones. So these are all factors that come into play.
And then the one thing that you forgot to say is that when those kids come home after school and are on their devices, they're eating really healthy food, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
That's the problem, you know, not carrot sticks, you know.
I actually have a question to what you were saying. I'm not familiar with any testing for younger people. I thought it was all, so this thing called short physical performance battery, which you're familiar with, yes. It's something we're using in the research, and all the people in our research are just beyond it. Like, we're not getting any changes because they're already good. So if there's another test or something where it would be more sensitive, I would be very interested to find out.
So what exactly are you looking for? Because I think Margie can help with this as well. Like, so the tests that we incorporated in our osteoporosis and fall risk screening are recommended by the CDC, but they look at mobility and lower extremity function. So
this is Get Up to Go. Do you know this one? It's so standard. It's 6-minute walk. It's Get Up to Go. What else?
it's the get up and go, the tub.
Yeah.
It's
Time up and go.
Time Up and Go.
Timed up and go.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
remember the other one. It's
But the yeah. I will get back to you on that as well. Margie, you want to look into that as well? And are you looking for a specific age group, or?
no, it's just
what are you
that
looking
everyone seems to be like getting 100%, and it's useless.
on the short performance?
Yeah, it's just completely useless. Like, another person, she was doing pregnant women and using that same test, and then she said, this is really bad because by the end of pregnancy, they're immobile. It has nothing to do with being out of shape.
Right.
And I didn't realize it, and she was pregnant herself, so she was laughing that she used it. She's a physical therapist, but you know, you start these things and you don't think about it, then you realize as you go along.
It's not accessible when you need it.
There are people on mean age about 60, but they're healthy. They're too healthy.
So they're above the cutoff scores.
Exactly. Yeah, so anyway.
Anita, what have you found? Which ones have you found that you said the people were having trouble with? Which
That's
test?
a 30-second sit to stand. That was the most,
30 seconds, it's,
that's how.
Yes, so maybe it's,
that's.
yeah.
So, and that's for functional lower extremity strength.
Stand up and walk to it, that's what you did, like 30 out and then come back.
I'm so embarrassed. No, it's because my students do it.
And the 6 things literally just sitting and standing.
Yeah, you just literally sit in a chair and someone times you,
Yeah.
and it's how many times you can sit up and come down, sit up.
Oh, so maybe
And down.
they'll do poorly on that one.
I'd be very interested to see
We'll
what you
add
get
it.
across your ages.
Yeah, they're
And if you're
generally
pregnant,
age
it's gonna be a little
55 to
challenging.
70.
And then you like the one where you stand, where you bend one leg back and seal one, you can stand on one foot without having to grab on anything.
Yeah, we do that one, I think, for sure. I feel so crazy that I don't
No,
remember
try
all the
that. I
details.
would-
I told her my student does everything, and I
I would
don't
try
remember
that
all.
one, the 30-second sit to stand.
Okay, maybe we'll add it. Thank you so much, I don't want to take over. But it is important that we find early. I really liked your comment about, let's find out a little earlier, but also you were finding really bad things about the younger people.
Well, I think the thing that's interesting to me, just to share, is that to have a 20-year-old student who's brilliant, but cannot perform 13 sit-to-stands in 30 seconds, she's at fall risk at 20. And to not be aware of how important it is to be physically active for your bones. The other thing that's really interesting that we have found is the IOF risk check. That's, developed by Amgen, and it's online. You can do it on your phone, and it educates everyone about the modifiable risk factors and the non-modifiable risk factors. Our students, ages 20 to 27, were basically shocked when they took it how they don't get enough vitamin D and how important vitamin D is. Also the risk of smoking. They didn't realize how smoking affected their bones. So again, it's like a educational component, but what we found too in the screenings that we've done 495 throughout the state of New Jersey, is the IOF risk check for the older population has to do with having like an immune disease like rheumatoid arthritis, and also having one of the medications that put you at risk for osteoporosis, like glucocorticosteroids, prednisone, antidepressants. Like even the pharmacists can speak to that, like, you know, the list of drugs that people take that also puts them at risk for osteoporosis. Like, so the role of education, just to anyone, is so important. And it needs to start now, like in high school, like 8th grade, you know what I mean? Like, we need to do that.
We all used to have like our walls postered with "Got Milk" posters because
That's
that was the
what I was thinking, Got
campaign.
Milk,
When I was a kid, like, you know, you try to find your favorite celebs and you know, talk about that.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know if we could come up with something catchy like that that hits the older and the younger and across the race.
Put it on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Okay, so I know you guys need to, sorry, we digressed, but I think it's a good conversation. We need to, present.
So Lori and I wanted to talk about plans to celebrate our cheerleaders with a couple of events. One of them is going to be in Somerset in October. Lori has wonderful plans here, not exactly here, but in any case at Monroe in September. And I wanted to run by you a few things for the plans that we have in August in Livingston. So just to get your feedback to see if we're on the right track. Lori, would you like to go first?
Sure. So we're planning an event at our Adult Day Center, which is about 5,000 square feet, on Saturday, September 9th, from 9:30 to 1:30. We will take over the building. The invitations are going out. We've already sent out save the date. And we have the 3 logos on it. We have the new Healthy Bones logo, we have Parker's logo, and we also have Rutgers logo to show that, you know, this is a partnership and there's a lot of education and we really are there to serve the community. But it's there to honor not only our peer leaders, but our loyal participants that I've had now for probably 10 years. I've had loyal participants and have been able to grow my programs. And now, of course, we have Maria. And Maria has joined the ranks of the many, and we are going to have interface. I've already gotten the list and mailed out to save the date so that we can start building this program and make it really special. So one of the things that I will be talking about, you know, one is growing our leadership program for Healthy Bones, talking about how things should be relatable and how they should be enabling, and we want them to feel empowered. We want them to know their value because we have to create new volunteers in order to really grow the program back to pre-COVID, right? We know pre-COVID, we had a lot of community service. Now we really kind of been dwindling down, but now we've been back into the communities. And so I'm going to also, on the 24th at Sally's event, I'm going to have a conversation about leadership, enabling, and relatable things to help empower them to actually share their knowledge and the benefits of all of these things that we're doing for people, which is we are educating. We are giving people better social aspects to life. We are giving them community, teamwork effort. We want to keep reiterating that because we want them to feel valued. So that's part of my speech. Also at my facility, I will be doing biodex screenings. We own a biodex, and we will do a biodex screening, be able to print it out on the level of their falls risk. So this could be very valuable because this will show us if everybody that's been taking and teaching Healthy Bones is actually their age is lower because their falls risk has been reduced by actually participating in this little biodex study. We're going to have Mary Wagner has offered her services. She's going to talk on the pharmaceutical and drugs for osteoporosis. I have a dietitian that's going to come in and talk about food and osteoporosis, so we're going to focus on nutrition. My physical therapy rehab director is going to have a conversation about how exercise is so welcome and maybe really focusing on something a little bit more specific, because I do have people that have been in the program for years and years. So we need to step the game up a little bit. So we're going to have many different things going on at that time, and we will be serving breakfast. We will also be having a raffle, and we will be creating our own giveaways with all the logos on it. So I will tell you that I've had a very good return from emails right now. There will be no invitations mailed out. These are emails only. Everything is going to be done by email. And then when they come in, they can, well, when I send out the initial invitation, they'll see what the program is going to consist of. And then at that point, they can also make a biodex appointment. Okay, so we have several people from Parker. All of my peer leaders are going to be there to support it, and they're health and wellness trained, so it should be very interesting.
And even though the Livingston event is going to be a little bit ahead of hers, Lori has kind of set the pace, you know, so we're using some of the ideas that she had. So our meeting would be from noon until 3:30, and we'll have some of the senior care facilities provide sandwiches and a little bit of food that can be easily handled. Our program is going to be in two distinct parts. The first part, which will be about an hour and a half, there will be time to socialize and meet people beforehand. A little bit more than an hour for presentations. Margie will be one of the speakers, and I'll tell you who else will be. And then the second part will be how we recognize the peer leaders for their service. We'll come up with some ideas on how to do that, whether it would be by having people stand up, and the last people standing are the ones who have been there for 20 years, you know, they would probably be the ones that would want to sit down first, but in any case, and the number of classes and so on. But because we're a nonprofit group, we don't have money to buy different things with. So we are using the theme, like the overall theme will be, this is the appreciation meeting, just as we had the passion meeting, the sunshine meeting in the past. And the theme will be gifts, that we are giving gifts to people. So the gifts that we're going to be giving after this little, the part about recognition, are gifts to peer leaders that can help them. I don't see mine right here. I think I do now. The first gift is going to be a new logo. And Maria was the one who started us thinking along these ideas, and then Heather was the one who said, how about this? It's just terrific, you know, so that'll be something that everybody will see, some people for the first time. We're going to update our brochure. And you've seen that, you know, folding brochure. And we need new photos, we need new statistics about classes, because it talks about average age, the background of peer leaders, and so on. And we're working on that now to get that information. I think we're going to find that there's been a big drop in the number of classes that we have, because for 3 years, nothing, except for Zoom classes. Since it's going to be the idea of gifts, there's a teacher's resource center that we can go to and just press out flat gift boxes. So in every chair there will be something like the gift of humility, patience, health, you know, so people say, oh, I've got this today, you know, family love, and so on. And then on the walls there will be different things that will have, again, a larger gift box outline. And we'll give those to classes beforehand and ask them to have their participants write down things about the peer leaders of the class that we would want to remember. So there'll be just, what do you call it? Glue tack or something like that, you know, just a little sticky thing in the back, so we can put them on the wall and take them off when we leave, and people can have them if they want to. So that's going to be a fun thing. Now, so the practical things are the logo, the pamphlet, and then we're also updating the manual. We're not going to do too much because it's already been translated into Spanish. This is for the participants manual. But what I have in mind is reducing significantly the educational material because there are so many extraordinarily good references now. The one I'd like to mention to you quickly is by the International Osteoporosis Foundation. It's called Build Better Bones. It came out in early May. It's just fantastic. You look at it, it's very friendly. 3 tabs at the front. Exercise, nutrition, home safety. When you click, let's say, on exercise, it says, are you a beginner, intermediate, advanced? They use better words than that. What do you want to focus on? What part of your body? It could be spine, it could be lower body, it could be muscles or whatever. And, what's the other one? In any case, I forget what the other thing is. So when you click on those, what happens is that you've got 6 exercises you can choose from that are helpful for you. So it's all customized. At the bottom, here's something that I think is so significant for us for the future. 3 more tabs. I have osteoporosis. I am a caregiver. I want to learn more. So it's all customized in terms of the information. And how helpful to have caregivers in lives. So I'm really very happy about that. And so we'll be working on the manuals. We also want to work on creating and getting this out, a digital library of material for peer leaders to go to. Lori should be the one who does the whole thing because it's already done here at Parker. And Maria is also excellent at interfaith. So we just want to have peer leaders have access to information on whatever topic they would like to discuss that week in their ongoing classes. So many classes are continuing, and to go over again calcium, vitamin D, DEXA scans, just doesn't quite bring enough energy to it. Alita, we were hoping that you could do a master class for us again. And Manny and Delia will video it, and I can set up the exercises quickly. I have 2 people already lined up who are really good to demonstrate it. So if we could talk about that, that would be wonderful, because we have one from 2013. And what we started at Livingston in last fall, in October, we just didn't quite get videos, so we can do it a little bit more quickly. And that would be a big addition. Very helpful for anybody going through peer leader training, helpful also for new participants in classes so that they know the correct way to do the exercises. And then the videos are such a big thing. Manny and Delia will be really helpful. And here's what we have in mind. Perhaps each class that wants to participate could embrace this as a project and say to members of the class, could you think of things that you would like to say about what Healthy Bones means to you? Or another topic could be, how does Healthy Bones help you? And then you could take 6 or 7 people, 3 or 4, probably more than 3 or 4, whose statements really cover the benefits of the class. And then have them, like with their iPhone or whatever, this is where Manny and Delia may be able to help us, but somebody else in Livingston is going to show me how to do it. And so somebody speaks about the exercises, somebody thinks about the camaraderie, somebody thinks about the fact that their posture is improved. And we just have those right out there. Another video that Kavita Patel from Kessler gave me as a suggestion is to have, let's say, 6 people walking along. One person turns to the other and says, you know, my Healthy Bones class is so good for me for this reason. The other person says, you're right, it's good for me for this reason. And maybe one other statement. And then the next person is the adult daughter of these people. You know, maybe not in reality, but. And I'm so happy that my mother is in Healthy Bones because I know that she's improving her balance or talking always about the benefits. And then there could be a grandchild saying, and I'm so happy too because my grandmother can play with me more now. So that you can see the generational benefits. And she doesn't fall. But the last, like the first video is like a VIP video. I spoke with people at the Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation. 3 or 4 of them will be glad to give us a statement. We can get Governor Murphy, the senators, I've been working with them, different people, maybe the heads of FLS at some of the hospitals. And Lori gave me some help with that. They would say, hi, I'm Dr. Fullman. I work at, I'm a surgeon at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, whatever it is. And then the next thing, besides saying who I am, this is what I do for bone health. I'm a surgeon, and I really pay very close attention to follow-up care for my patients. Or I'm a professor at Rutgers, I'm a pharmacist. And then congratulations to you on your 25th anniversary. And we're just going to kind of stream those. And it would be 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and it would be really quick. And we can use them for all kinds of things. And Lori's point was, not only can we use them to build us up, Interfaith could use it in Norwestcount for grant applications or for showing people what we do. It's not only that they're going to say congratulations, but we can say to our senators or local politicians, this is the value add that we bring to your community. So that's a very, very important concept that we have. It's not quite in hand, but it's almost.
So just want to say something about going for the grants in your county, because each county has different grants for aging and disability. So there's one under taxonomy, which is where the physical piece comes in, and that's the grant you want to get for healthy bones. So that would pay the peer, that pays per person, and it's predicated upon various ethnic groups. So they pay you, you have to be able to have so many different ethnicities in order to participate. I did that grant for Middlesex County, and so we wound up getting a few $1,000s a year for it.
Yeah. So that's a good idea to try to include people on the county level as well. We think that Governor Murphy can give us a proclamation, for the 25th anniversary. The mayor of Livingston is going to give us one because that's where the meeting's being held. And that's about it in terms of those other things. But here's where I need to have you say good, not so good, too much, too little, or whatever. It's not going to be too little, I can tell you that much. So speakers. We have gone through a whole discussion over months and months, really, of what kind of speakers we want to have and whom we want to focus on. So we're focusing on, at first, the peer leaders, the people who are in our audience. They haven't seen one another for 3 years. Look at how nice it was to see everybody when we came in, Marie says, oh, first time I've seen them in person, So that should be a really happy time. And so what we're trying to do is to have about 5 or 6 speakers. And each of them would take 5 minutes, more or less, sometimes a little bit less, and hear the speakers and the ideas that we have in mind. Now, Mary knows that she's possibly going to be asked, and Anita too, you're up a little bit later. But in any case, the first one would be Margie. And the speakers would say, hi, I'm Margie Bissinger. My gift to you today is, and the name of their time. So my gift to you today is how you start your day matters. So she would talk about gratitude list, not being on your phone the first thing you open your eyes and so on. The next person would talk about, in a sense, sitting and standing with ease. I don't have that person exactly in mind, but I have the ideas that would go in there. So it's a little bit about posture, how to stand well so that you really don't have as much back pain as you might have before and you're sitting straight. Not like this, the way I'm at all the time, open shoulders, The next one is better balance, because so many of my people say, I'm taking care of myself, but I still trip, How can we improve our balance? And it's not to be teaching, it's to give you little tips. The one after that would be eating for your mind as well as your body. Kathleen Morgan is going to do that. We could use somebody who might talk about managing stress. One of the things that came out in Margie's program, the Health Summit, was a woman talking about decluttering. And it's the idea of not so much decluttering your house, declutter your mind. Correct. Let go, that's right, let go of hurts and little things that are bothering you. You can't do anything about them. You have to get through them. And just an idea like that says, oh, that's better. I can forget this person's, transgression here or there. And then meditation. I have somebody who's very, very good, who will tell us, like with a couple of acronyms, RAIN, what that means, disarm, little things so that you can remember how to do a meditation when you're driving or when you're walking and so on. And then we're making a transition, so that goes from you. And so, maybe if you can give me any ideas about that you part. Trying to move ahead. And I developed a little talk that I gave at the meeting last week that everybody liked on thinking of our bones in a different way. They're not the skeletons of Halloween. They're not the skull. They're not the broken bones that we are afraid of as we get older. but a way of envisioning your bones in a very positive way. And so that takes about 3 minutes or so. So I'm the transition head. So we're moving from you to others. And then Lori will come up, and it's a little bit what you just talked about. The idea of healthy bones as well as happy bones, so to speak. And then going into what she said about how to inspire volunteers so that we can think of the future of the program. I've got tons of people who want to join the class. I don't have any peer leaders to say, okay, I'll leave your class and I'll start another class. So that'll be the way of trying to think of the future of healthy bones. And then since we're thinking of the future, this is what I'm so passionate about, and I wanted half of the meeting to be about, but I had to give in on that. The future of healthy bones is our kids and our teens. So we're having some posters that we'll have at the meeting that will show kids, I actually have a couple of pictures right here, what bones are like inside, something like this. And we sponsored already an internship this past year with a high school student, and that will result in a publication that the HOF will publish. And so we've already started to get some information about kids and their interests and so on. And so what we were hoping, we don't have this exactly done, Anita and Mary and Lisa Cheng were very interested in doing something maybe with the Girl Scouts or something with kids. Lisa
We
has
have to
been,
do this.
Kids aren't in school. Like, that is like the perfect day to like
Yeah.
do it.
when they are in school or when
No,
they're,
they're like August 24th, there's no school at camp that day.
oh yeah, right,
It's like right before school. I think that would be perfect,
yeah, but if you could, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
If you can talk about programs you might be able to initiate. With Girl Scouts that could be transferred to Boy Scouts, like a patch for Girl Scouts, a
Yeah.
bone health, a badge for Boy Scouts.
I just like the idea of integrating them. I think it
Yes.
would be so important, not just to develop a patch for them, that they have to jump through hoops to get, but that they also, or maybe the hoop, one of the hoops would be like to take part with a Project Healthy Bones class, you know, an integrated class. Intergenerational class.
Right.
You know, and that just brings up one other point. I'm curious. There's an age limit to belong to Project Healthy Bones, correct? And is that really viable?
An age limit?
Yeah. Do you have to be 50 and older to be in
No.
the Project Healthy Bones, or can anyone join Project
Um,
Healthy Bones? I thought it was in Livingston. I met the youngest member, and I thought you had to be 50 to participate.
Yeah.
Is that across the board?
As
I think we
far
just
as
said
I'm
18 and
concerned,
older. 18 and older.
So
Yeah.
it might be like their grant purposes, like I know at Interfaith, they have to be 60 and older in order to meet our grant curriculum, because that's
Yeah.
the way that we write our grants, so like it's
Right.
in Livingston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm just wondering, in the future, if it could be 18 and older, or, you know, like
Right.
12 and older, or something, because I think we need to hit that across the
I
lifespan.
agree. I think there shouldn't be requirements or regulations, so to speak, in healthy bones. I have 2 or 3 people in my classes who are 50-something or other, and they have osteoporosis, medications, you know, brought it on, so it's in the family. And I would never think of saying, wait 5 years and come back. We don't want to just take somebody who is interested in doing something during the day. That's not the purpose of, you know, making that a soft age limit. And I have women who are 92 in my class too, like one of them. I didn't ask all the others how many are. But in any event, no, it's people who have osteopenia, osteoporosis, who need help. And I think that that's kind of like it in terms of what I wanted to talk with you about. So I happen to be really nervous, if you want to know the truth, about the fact not having this whole program kind of lined up so that we can work things out. So Mandy and Dan and Delia are big helpers how to begin to work with the videos. And if we can work about having the master class and then with kids.
Yeah.
So we have something to say.
We should come up with something for that day, or an idea for that day or something.
I think we have to collaborate,
Yeah,
we definitely.
Yeah.
I'm, in my mind, in listening to this, like, the heart of New Jersey, Girl Scouts of sort of northern New Jersey area, the CEO has been wonderful for so many things. I wonder if we can kind of connect and see if we can at least, even if she would come or even say something about if we had a partnership or something that was at least in the works.
Right, yes, yeah. Yeah,
I
and
feel
we
like that
should,
would be
yeah, And we could, and I think that we can invite guests to our meeting too, something like that. I was going to invite a couple of people, 4 doctors, and other community people.
I have a question. Do you think that Claire Gill would come, or would she, could she be zoomed in? I think that would be very inspirational.
She said she would.
Yeah, I think that would be really neat.
She may not be able to come, but she could certainly.
And this is, she could present a gift.
Whoa.
Via Zoom, you know, whatever that gift is, like, that you determine that's appropriate for bone health, but she could also give a gift, and that would be so powerful, because she's the National Osteoporosis Foundation CEO, if she was willing to do that.
She's very willing.
I think you should really think about, I mean, as we talk about age disparities and bone health, that you need to either have a class for people who are younger and just say, I mean, so, you know, you need to expand your horizons, and maybe we, you know, the Girl Scouts could do something where they would have a class for other kids their age, because I think parents would be very interested in participating at this point, because they work all week and they know their kids are sitting in the house, and maybe try and, you know, create some kind of program.
I wonder if we could do it something for October, like October 20th, World Osteoporosis Day or something in October.
Anita, October 19th, as I found out last year, is Pediatric World Day or something like that. I didn't either until I happened to have gone to a presentation at Morristown.
Wow.
But if you reach out to these youth centers, all these youth centers would probably be, you know, a good starting point to offer a class, you know, and make it fun. You probably need to make it fun because, you know, kids cannot focus for long periods of time. So, but you could probably do something like that.
And if we did a 20-minute thing.
Well, one of the fun things we're going to do at the meeting is to have wishbones that, you know, people are saving. And then you put them in vinegar, and at the end of the week, they just go like this. All of the collagen is there, but the calcium is deposited in the bottom of the jar. And for kids to see a wishbone like this, you know, is a fun thing. So I'm mindful of the time Stephen didn't come here just to sit and listen. He probably wanted to say something. Any ideas that you can give me to say you're missing this in the tips for your own health, or any other suggestions, I would welcome them so much, because I really want this to be good. And then just one other word, this is meant to be smooth. It's like a morning TV program. It's not like saying, well, thank you so much for inviting me today, you know, and I'm from here. So it's, my name is Sally, I'm here to talk, and my gift to you is better balance, and right into your presentation. If you only have 5 minutes, there's no sense wasting a minute saying, hello.
But 5 minutes is good for attention span. Like, you know, when you do segments, it should be more than 6 to 8 minutes, so 5 minutes is perfect.
Yeah. Lori gets more than 5, I mean.
No, I don't need more than 5, that's okay.
Oh, I have time to.
I'll share some of my minutes with you.
Oh, could I just say something very quickly? So I've been looking for things to put in our bag. I have these that I got, 150 of them, that's, we're thinking of planning 150 bags, where people can write down their medications. That's useful for seniors. And I'm asking for socks like this.
That's great.
Safety.
Yes.
And I had a skin tag removed, and they were giving me a sample of different face creams with good sun protection. So I'm in touch with the 2 reps to see how many they're going to give us. That goes in the bag. I'm embarrassed because I have 150 of these in the car, and they were too heavy to bring in. I bought some little notepads that are about this size, spiral at the top, really classy, made really nice paper. And Heather and I have been talking about putting a logo on the front. And so it could be on this white thing. We're looking for a circular logo, so we can just put it right on it and give that as a gift also.
Can you print the logo on like sticker paper?
That's
Weird
yeah,
thing,
that,
like
you can
labels.
print it on your sticker.
So I'm kind of in the process of getting, well, I got quotes for a drawstring backpack with a zipper on it instead of a tote bag. The colors are limited, but I figured we could either do like a navy blue or like a black, and then the new logo would be like white pretty much.
Good.
I think that would stand out
Yeah.
the most. So is that all good?
Well, blue is like the color of osteoporosis.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like
it's
a
just
navy
tough with the
blue.
new logo, we would have to switch probably. Yeah, like that blue would show up on
Navy.
black, but not navy blue, because then the letters are black. We'd have to switch the black letters to like a white,
Like a white.
if,
Yeah.
if we had it on a black bag.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys are thinking, would you think black bag or like a navy blue bag? And then the company would have to change some of the colors. But the logo, I mean, itself would stay the same, it's just the colors of things might have to change just for the bag's sake.
I like the blue bag and the white letters,
Right.
those
I
are
like
white.
it.
I think that would,
And then maybe the shape could be black.
yeah.
Everyone likes
If you
white.
needed to adjust the color.
So bag, we're thinking black and then,
Or
or
blue, did we say blue?
Yeah, I think
Blue.
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 blue. I'll see if they can do it.
Osteoporosis blue.
What do you think, Margie?
Oh,
We're making big decisions.
Oh, I'm here, I like blue.
Okay. Okay.
I can't see the bag, so I don't know.
There is no bag, there is no bag.
I
There's no bag, but I was just thinking of the
don't
color.
even see the logo, so I don't know what it looks like.
Andrew's working on it.
Working on it, yeah.
I'll email it to you, Margie.
I can't see it, yeah, email it to me, yeah.
I was thinking like a tumbler too. I don't think we're gonna have enough money for both. The tumblers are more money, so I think the bags are reasonable to manage, but I don't think we can do anything else at this point in time.
And I have these from the BHOF, it's an osteo site, they have it as a keychain. So those are some of the things that we can put in the bag. And then actually Lori is giving us some hand squeezing things to strengthen our legs.
The should be coming in next week, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Lori, I was planning on ordering like 400, so we're having 150 at the 25th anniversary. How many were you anticipating, or how many save the dates went out?
I figure we should have 100 people.
Okay, so there'll be enough bags for both of
Yeah,
us.
okay, I'm not worried,
Yeah.
trust me.
But, okay. So we'll be in good shape there. And then the only other thing was just what Heather and I sent out about, passed out to everyone about the summer and fall training. So some of our other wellness programs besides PHB, we're going to be doing a diabetes self-management peer leader training in August. We don't have an exact location. We have a Move Today workshop, which is with resistance bands. That just got scheduled. So that's once a week for an hour from the 15th of August through the end of October. And then we want to do 2 Project Healthy Bones regional trainings. So we figured we'll do a northern and a southern. Anita just said Newark would be a good location, right?
Yeah, we're looking to, the students, we have a community participatory free clinic in Newark that's run by the physical therapy students, and they're looking for a wellness project.
Okay.
And we're looking into Project Healthy Bones, and so it would be nice if students were educated. We ran a program weekly, but then they could take that into their community.
Okay.
So there would be longevity,
Mhm.
you know, so we're, that's going before the board in June this month, so I will be back in touch with you. But I think that would be a good, we have a really nice room to 18 would work.
Okay.
It's an idea.
Andrew, is there any way we could also have it on Zoom for, some seniors?
I don't think so. It's got to be.
We tried it on Zoom and
Yeah.
it's not effective, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because they can't
Not for
see.
training.
Not for a training,
Not for training.
but for class, yes. But
Well, we could do training, but I can't give it to you during the week because I have a whole program.
okay. No,
On
that's okay.
Saturdays, the place is empty.
Right.
If you want to do something, I can walk in my building.
And then we'll
Andrew,
do.
where are you thinking of for the southern training?
Well, we're not sure.
Closer to you.
Hunter was more central, like west. So we were probably thinking like Burlington or south, Burlington, Gloucester, somewhere in there. And then do a stress busing program for family caregivers workshop, which would be 9 weeks for 90 minutes. So managing concerns about, their caregiver, or then caregiving for their loved ones that have Alzheimer's, and then another diabetes workshop instead of a training. So, because the Take Control of Your Health, which has the diabetes, chronic disease health management, cancer guidance, surviving. That's probably our most popular program, followed by like Project Health Bones. Those are like the top two. So we're kind of giving more attention to those, trying to get majority of our programs, involved. So that's the game plan right now.
How long is the caregiver meetings? How long are they, 90 minutes?
They're 90 minutes.
90
Yep.
minutes. Yeah, we did one here before, actually, I think for you guys. Might have been
I
actually.
really like that.
I think that was I wasn't, but that
Yeah, we
was,
did one
Or
earlier.
River Road, maybe?
No, it was right,
In the
Houston
cottage.
In the cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
But yeah, this would be the workshop for like the caregivers,
The training was 2 days, but the workshop is 90.
yeah, it's 9 weeks for 90 minutes. Yeah, or they can alter the dates a little bit
Yeah,
if
we
we
can
had
always
to.
do
They were
another
just kind of
training,
when
I
we were
mean.
free, but yeah.
It's also what people want too, so,
I'm sure they do, because,
yeah.
we're the second largest, we have a large senior population in the state of New Jersey, right?
But that's it.
Thank you, we are over,
Yeah.
12:06, and everyone's cognizant of everyone's time. But thank you, Lori, very much for hosting. Thank you, Margie, for joining online, everyone for coming, and congratulations to everyone that received an award. It's so inspirational.